Behind the perfectly manicured lawn and cheerful yellow shutters of our Cape Cod home, my daughter-in-law compared everything I did to her own mother, who had passed away 3 years earlier. When I collapsed in the guest bedroom after hosting Thanksgiving dinner, she told the paramedics I'd been drinking too much wine. I met my son Derek when he brought his fiancée Jennifer home for the first time 6 years ago. I was a widow by then, having lost my husband Tom to a heart attack 2 years prior. Derek seemed happy, and Jennifer was lovely, warm, engaging. She hugged me at the door and brought homemade cookies. "Mrs. Peterson, these are my mom's recipe," she said, pressing the container into my hands. "She passed away last year. Cancer." My heart went out to her. "I'm so sorry, dear. And please, call me Margaret." At their wedding, Jennifer asked me to sit in a place of honor, right beside where her mother's portrait stood on an empty chair. I felt touched, honored even. I didn't realize then that I was being positioned as her replacement. The first year was wonderful. They bought a house just 20 minutes away, and Jennifer called me regularly. Would I come to dinner? Could I help pick out curtains? Did I want to join her book club? After years of loneliness in my too-quiet house, I felt needed again, loved. Then Derek got a promotion that required frequent travel. That's when things began to shift. "Would you mind staying over Thursday night?" Jennifer asked one afternoon. "Derek's in Chicago until Friday, and I just feel better with someone here." Of course I came. I brought groceries and cooked dinner. Pot roast with carrots and potatoes, one of Derek's favorites. Jennifer picked at her food. "It's good," she said quietly, "just different from how my mom made it." "Oh, how did she prepare it?" "She used red wine in the braising liquid, and fresh herbs from her garden." Jennifer's eyes welled up. She had the most beautiful herb garden. I reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I didn't mean to upset you." No, it's fine." She wiped her eyes and smiled. "It's just hard sometimes, you know?" Missing her, I understood grief. I'd lived with it myself. So when she asked me to stay over the following week, and the week after that, I said yes. When she asked me to help her plant an herb garden in the backyard, exactly like her mother's, I brought my gardening gloves. When she requested I use her mother's recipes instead of my own, I told myself I was helping her heal. The requests became more specific. Could I stop wearing perfume? Her mother never wore any. Would I consider growing my hair longer? Her mother had long hair. Did I have any cardigans in cream or beige? Those were her mother's signature colors. "Jennifer," I said one morning as we weeded the garden together, "Honey, I'm not your mother." Her face crumpled. "I know that, Margaret. God, I know that every single day." She sat back on her heels, dirt streaking her cheek. "I'm sorry. I'm asking too much. It's just that Derek has gone so much, and this house feels so empty, and you're the only person who makes it feel less lonely." How could I say no to that? Derek noticed something was off during one of his brief weekends home. "Mom, you're here again? Don't you have your painting class on Saturdays?" I'd been taking watercolor classes at the community center for 3 years. It was my sanctuary, my creative outlet, my social life. But Jennifer had asked me to help reorganize the basement this weekend, and I'd canceled. "I can go next week," I said. He frowned. "You say that every week lately." "Derek, your wife needs support right now. That's more important than painting. My wife has a therapist. And friends. You don't have to give up everything for her." But Jennifer overhead from the kitchen doorway. "I'm sorry I'm such a burden," she said coldly. "I'll try not to need anyone's help anymore." Derek said, "Jen, that's not what I—" "No, he's right. I should handle things on my own, like an adult." She turned and walked upstairs. Derek looked at me helplessly. "I didn't mean it like that." "I know, sweetheart. I'll talk to her." I found Jennifer in their bedroom, crying on the bed. She looked up at me with red-rimmed eyes. My mom would have understood. She always put family first. She would have wanted to help me. "I want to help you too, Jennifer." "I do." "Then why does everyone make me feel guilty for asking?" I sat beside her and rubbed her back, the way I used to comfort Derek when he was small. "No one's trying to make you feel guilty. We just want you to be happy. I'll be happy when Derek's home more. When this house doesn't feel so empty. When I don't wake up reaching for my phone to call my mom before I remember she's gone." Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Do you know what that's like? To forget? Just for a second? And then remember all over again? Yes, I whispered. I do know. And I did. So I stayed. I canceled painting class again. And again. When my instructor called to check on me, Jennifer was standing nearby, and I kept my voice cheerful. Everything's fine. Just busy with family right now. Jennifer smiled and squeezed my hand after I hung up. Thank you for being here, Margaret. It means everything. The holiday season approached, and Jennifer asked if I'd host Thanksgiving at my house. It's bigger than ours, and my mom always hosted. I can't bear to do it myself. Not yet. But if you hosted, with me helping you, it would feel like she's here in spirit. I'd been planning to accept my neighbor Carol's invitation to a Friendsgiving gathering. I'd been looking forward to it, to seeing friends I'd been neglecting, but Jennifer's eyes were so hopeful. Of course, dear, we'll host together. We planned the menu according to her mother's traditional recipes. Jennifer came over 3 days early to help prepare. She directed me in the kitchen like a conductor leading an orchestra. The stuffing needs more sage. My mom's always had more sage. These rolls aren't rising enough. My mom's were always perfectly golden. The table setting isn't quite right. My mom used her grandmother's china, the one with the blue flowers. I didn't have china with blue flowers. Jennifer drove to 3 antique stores until she found something similar and charged it to my credit card. You don't mind, do you? It's for the family. Derek arrived Wednesday evening and found me exhausted in the kitchen at 10 p.m., still preparing dishes for the next day. Mom, what are you doing? You should be in bed. Your wife wants everything perfect. I'm just trying to help. He looked around at the chaos of pots and pans, the handwritten recipes in Jennifer's mother's handwriting that she'd given me, the new china still in boxes on the counter. This is too much. Jen needs to understand. Please don't say anything to her. I cut him off. She's been so stressed. Let's just get through tomorrow. Thanksgiving Day, I was up at 5 a.m. Jennifer arrived at 6 with more instructions, more corrections, more stories about how her mother did things. By noon, when guests started arriving, I felt like I was moving through fog. Derek's sister Amanda pulled me aside in the hallway. Mom, you look terrible. Are you feeling okay? Just tired, honey. Long morning. You're doing too much. Let Jennifer handle some of this. But Jennifer was in the living room, graciously accepting compliments from guests, telling stories about her mother's Thanksgiving traditions. I heard her say, Margaret has been such a blessing, helping me carry on my mom's legacy. She's been like a second mother to me. Everyone smiled and nodded. How could I complain about that? Dinner was served. I'd barely eaten all day, and the wine I drank on an empty stomach went straight to my head. But I kept refilling my glass because it dulled the ache in my feet, the throb in my temples, the hollow feeling in my chest that I couldn't quite name. After dinner, as I was clearing plates, Jennifer said, Oh, Margaret, you forgot the cranberry relish. My mom never forgot the cranberry relish. It was such a small thing, such an insignificant detail, but something in me snapped. The room tilted. I gripped the edge of the table, but my legs wouldn't hold me. I woke up in my guest bedroom to the sound of sirens. Derek was holding my hand, his face pale. Mom, stay still. Ambulance is almost here. Jennifer stood in the doorway, arms crossed. I told them she'd been drinking heavily all day. I tried to warn her to slow down, but she wouldn't listen. Jen, that's not Derek started. I saw her refilling her glass over and over. She barely ate anything. I'm worried about her, Derek. This isn't normal. The paramedics arrived. They took my vitals, asked me questions. How much had I had to drink? Had I eaten? Was I on any medications? Did I feel depressed? I'm fine, I kept saying. Just tired. I don't need to go to the hospital. But they insisted, and Derek rode with me in the ambulance. In the harsh fluorescent light, away from Jennifer's watchful eyes, he asked, Mom, what's really going on? Nothing. I just overdid it today. You're not a heavy drinker. You never have been. I had a few glasses of wine on an empty stomach. It was foolish. At the hospital, a nurse took my blood pressure and frowned. Ma'am, when's the last time you had a full meal? Not just today, but regularly. I eat fine. Your blood pressure is very low. You're dehydrated. And quite frankly, you look exhausted. She glanced at my chart. It says here you've lost 15 pounds since your last checkup 6 months ago. Have you been feeling stressed? No more than usual. A young doctor came in, Dr. Sarah Chen, with kind eyes behind her glasses. She examined me, asked more questions, then did something unexpected. She asked Derek to step out for a moment. Mrs. Peterson, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. She pulled up a chair close to my bed. Do you feel safe at home? What? Of course. No one is controlling what you eat. When you sleep, who you see. No, I live alone. But you spend a lot of time at your son's house? Yes. My daughter-in-law needs help. And this help, is it something you want to give? Or something you feel obligated to give? I opened my mouth to answer, then closed it. How could I explain? She lost her mother. She's grieving. That's very compassionate of you. But grief doesn't give someone the right to control another person's life. Dr. Chen leaned forward. The nurse told me you've lost significant weight. Your blood work shows signs of chronic stress and malnutrition. You collapsed from exhaustion and low blood sugar, not alcohol. Mrs. Peterson, these are signs I see in people who are being emotionally manipulated or abused. That's ridiculous. Jennifer isn't abusing me. Does she ask you to cancel your own plans to help her? I thought of painting class, of Friendsgiving with Carol, of the book club I'd quit, the volunteer work I'd stopped, the friends whose calls I no longer returned because Jennifer always needed something. Does she criticize how you do things, then tell you how her mother did them better? The pot roast, the stuffing, the table settings, the garden, my clothes, my hair, everything compared, everything found wanting. Does she make you feel guilty when you set boundaries? Derek's comment about painting class, Jennifer's tears, her crumpled face. I'm such a burden. My mom would have understood. Dr. Chen watched my face. Mrs. Peterson, I see this more than you'd think, especially in older women. Adult children or their spouses who use grief, or need, or family obligation to control a parent's time, money, energy. It's insidious because it looks like love. It feels like being needed. But it's not healthy for either person. She's just grieving, I whispered, but the words felt hollow now. Grief is real and valid, but using grief to manipulate someone else is abuse. And from what you've told me, that's what's happening. Derek came back in, and Jennifer was with him. She rushed to my bedside. Margaret, thank God you're okay. I was so worried. Dr. Chen glanced at me, then at Jennifer. Mrs. Peterson is severely exhausted and malnourished. She needs rest, proper nutrition, and significantly less stress in her life. Of course, Jennifer said. I'll take care of her. She can stay with us, and I'll make sure she eats and rests. Actually, Doctor, Chen said firmly, I think Mrs. Peterson needs to go home, to her own house, and have some time to herself. No visitors for at least a week. Jennifer's face fell. But who will help her? She shouldn't be alone. I'll arrange for a home health aide to check on her. But she needs space and rest, not more obligations. Jennifer looked at Derek, then at me. Margaret, do you want me to stay away? There it was, the question designed to make me the villain. If I said yes, I was rejecting her in her grief. If I said no, nothing would change. Dr. Chen answered for me. This isn't about what anyone wants. It's about what Mrs. Peterson needs medically. She needs rest. That's non-negotiable. Derek drove me home in silence. At my door, he hugged me tightly. I'm sorry, Mom. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. It's not your fault. I'll talk to Jennifer. This has to stop. Derek, she's your wife. I don't want to cause problems in your marriage. You're not causing anything. She is. He kissed my forehead. Get some rest. I'll call you tomorrow. Inside my quiet house, I looked around. Dust-covered surfaces I used to keep pristine. Mail piled up on the counter. My easel stood in the corner. My paints dried out from months of neglect. The life I'd built after Tom died, the independence I'd fought for, the friendships I'd cultivated, all of it had disappeared. And I'd let it happen. Worse, I'd thought I was being loving, helpful, a good mother-in-law. My phone buzzed. A text from Jennifer. I'm sorry if I upset you. I just miss my mom so much, and you remind me of her. Is that so wrong? Another buzz. Derek is mad at me now. I hope you're happy. Another. I guess I'll just deal with everything alone like I always do. I stared at the messages, seeing them clearly for the first time. The guilt trip, the manipulation, the way she made her pain my responsibility. I didn't respond. The next morning, Carol knocked on my door with a casserole. Amanda called me. She said you'd been in the hospital. I started to give her the easy answer, the one that wouldn't make waves. But instead, I broke down crying and told her everything. Carol listened, then said, "Oh, honey, this has been going on for months, hasn't it? We've all missed you. Every time we invited you somewhere, you were busy helping Jennifer. We thought maybe you preferred spending time with her. I thought I was being a good grandmother, a good support system. You were being used." Carol squeezed my hand. "And now you get to take your life back." It wasn't easy. Jennifer called daily, crying, apologizing, begging me to just come over for one dinner, one afternoon, just to talk. Derek was caught in the middle, trying to support his wife while recognizing what she'd done to me. I started seeing a therapist who specialized in family dynamics. She helped me understand how Jennifer had used her grief as a weapon, how I'd been conditioned to sacrifice myself to avoid being seen as selfish or uncaring. "You can have compassion for her loss without letting her consume your life," my therapist said. "Those two things aren't mutually exclusive." I rejoined painting class. The instructor welcomed me back with tears in her eyes. "We thought you'd forgotten about us." "Never," I said. I'd forgotten about myself. I had coffee with Carol and discovered she'd started a garden club. I joined. I volunteered at the library again. I called old friends. I reclaimed my Saturdays, my evenings, my life. Jennifer sent an email 3 weeks after Thanksgiving. "I've started therapy. My counselor says I've been using you as a surrogate for my mom and that it wasn't fair to either of us. I'm sorry, Margaret. Really, truly sorry. I hope someday we can have a real relationship, not one based on me trying to recreate what I lost." I wrote back, "Thank you for that. I forgive you, and I hope you find healing in your grief, but I need time and space right now. I'll reach out when I'm ready." Derek visited alone one Sunday with flowers, my favorite yellow roses that Tom used to bring me. "I should have protected you," he said. "I should have seen it." I should have seen it too. We both loved her and wanted to help her. "That's not wrong. What she did with that love was wrong." He nodded slowly. "She's working on herself. I am too. Our marriage counselor says I enabled this by traveling so much, by not being present enough for Jen to not need to replace me with you. You're a good man, Derek. You'll figure it out together or you won't, but that's between you and Jennifer now, not me. You sound different. Stronger. I feel different." I touched the petals of the roses. "I spent so long trying to fill the space your father left, then trying to fill the space Jennifer's mother left. I forgot I had my own space that needed filling." Months passed. Spring came, and my garden bloomed. My garden, planted with what I wanted, not a recreation of someone else's vision. My painting from class hung on my living room wall. Carol and I took a weekend trip to Vermont to see the galleries. Jennifer and I saw each other at family events, polite but distant. She no longer asked me for favors or made comparisons to her mother. She seemed smaller somehow, or maybe I was just bigger, taking up my own space again. One afternoon, Derek called. "Jen's pregnant. We wanted you to know before we told everyone else." My heart swelled. "Congratulations, sweetheart. I'm so happy for you both. We were wondering if maybe, when the baby comes, you might want to be involved. Not as a replacement grandmother or a caretaker, just as, a grandma who visits and spoils the baby and goes home." I smiled. "I think I'd like that very much. And Mom? Jen wants to apologize in person. Really apologize, not just say words. Would you be willing to hear her out?" I looked around my living room, at my paintings and my books and my life I'd built back up from nothing. At the calendar where painting class was marked in red every Saturday, at the brochure for a watercolor retreat in Maine, I was considering for September. "Yes," I said, "I'll meet with her. But Derek, I need you to understand something. I love you. I love Jennifer. I'll love this baby. But I love myself too, and I won't sacrifice myself again. Not for anyone. I wouldn't want you to, Mom. None of us would." Jennifer came over the following Saturday afternoon. She looked different too, softer somehow, less brittle. She sat on my couch and didn't make comparisons to her mother's furniture or her mother's home. "I've been in therapy for 5 months now," she began. "Learning about complicated grief, about how I tried to replace my mom with you instead of actually processing her loss. I'm learning that I can't get her back by making you into her. And I'm sorry, Margaret. For all of it, for using your kindness, for making my pain your responsibility, for taking away your life because I couldn't handle my own." I listened, really listened, and heard genuine remorse. "Thank you for that. It helps to hear. I don't expect you to trust me right away, or want to be close to me. I just wanted you to know that I see what I did now, and I'm working on being better." "We're all working on being better," I said gently, "including me. I'm learning to set boundaries, to say no, to protect my own life even when people I love need help." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I'm glad you're doing that. You deserve it." We talked for an hour, careful and honest, two women who'd hurt each other and been hurt, trying to find a way forward. When she left, I felt lighter. Not forgiveness exactly, not yet, but the beginning of something that might become forgiveness, given time. The baby came in November, a little girl with Derek's eyes and Jennifer's smile. They named her Grace. I visited at the hospital, held my granddaughter, and marveled at her tiny fingers. "Will you come over on Sunday?" Jennifer asked carefully. "Just for dinner. I'll make pot roast, and I promise not to mention my mom's recipe once." I smiled. "I can come for dinner, but I have painting class at 4, so I'll need to leave by 3:30. "Of course. We'll eat early." And we did. Dinner was pleasant, easy, normal. Jennifer made pot roast her own way, and it was good. Derek told stories about work. Baby Grace slept in her bassinet. At 3:15, I gathered my things. "Thank you for coming," Jennifer said at the door. "Same time next week?" "Let me check my calendar. I might have plans with Carol." "That's okay. Just let me know when works for you." I drove home singing along to the radio, my heart full but not overflowing. There was room in it for Derek and Jennifer and little Grace. But there was room for me too. For painting, class and garden club and weekend trips and quiet Tuesday evenings with a book and tea. I'd learned that love doesn't mean disappearing, that helping someone doesn't require losing yourself, that you can have compassion for another person's pain without taking responsibility for fixing it. If you're reading this, if you recognize yourself in my story, know this. You are not selfish for having boundaries. You are not cruel for protecting your own life. You are not a bad mother, or grandmother, or friend for saying no. You are stronger than you know. You deserve to take up space, and you are not alone. There is help available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 isn't just for physical abuse. Emotional abuse and manipulation are real, and they count. There are also resources for older adults experiencing abuse from family members. You don't have to handle this alone. Your life is yours. Don't let anyone, even someone you love, even someone in pain, take that from you. I almost lost myself trying to be someone I wasn't, trying to fill a space that wasn't mine to fill. I got myself back. And if I can do it at 63, after months of manipulation and control, you can too. No matter your age, no matter how long it's been going on, no matter how guilty they make you feel, you matter. Your life matters. Your time, your energy, your joy, they all matter. Take up space. Set boundaries. Say no. And then watch your life bloom again, the way mine did, the way it still is.